Hello, everybody. Welcome to our program today. My name is Dr. Chidi. I'm reaching you from Toronto, Canada, like always. It is pretty cold here in Toronto, but you know what? Hey, I'm bringing you some sunshine, because this is what we like. We don't want to think about winter, we don't want to think about the cold. So let's just keep it sunny and summer like. That's why I'm dressed with my beach clothes, just to give myself some sunshine feeling. I remember it's Black History Month, so this is a time when we think about motherland Africa and our journey as Africans, as blacks from all over the place, and our struggles and what we're going through and things like that. So I welcome you, everybody, to this program today. Today I have a very special guest, someone that a lot of you may not have heard about her, but there's a lot that this person has done, and we'll be talking about some of those things that she has done. But most importantly, is the step that she has taken recently, a very bold step, a very bold step that she has taken recently. And I'll also talk about that bold step because it is what a lot of people don't even get to think about it. But she has taken that bold step, and because of it, she's become an inspiration to so many people. That is why she is a very special guest today. I'm gonna introduce her shortly. Just give me 1 minute to set us up. I'm gonna introduce her, and we will get on with the interview. By the way, what you should be doing now is sharing this video, making sure, I always tell you people, when you stumble on something good, something this good, and you keep it to yourself, then you are selfish. I mean, how can you see this kind of beautiful, lovely interview happening and you're not sharing it? So go ahead and share the video, invite someone, make sure that everybody out there is listening. And please welcome our special guest today in the person of Assiatou Diallo. Did I get it right, Assiatou? Assiatou, it's a pleasure having you today. I'm really, really proud of what you're doing, and we're going to tell a lot of our people about what you're doing. But let me start from where I always start with our guests, okay? Um, who is Assiatou?
So once again, my name is Assiatou Diallo, and I am born and raised in Guinea. That's West Africa. I've been in Canada only 14 years. I lived in Montreal for 4 years. So when I came to Canada, as I said, I was pregnant 6 months. So after 4 years in Montreal, because going through a lot of difficulties that I couldn't manage, like um, baby blues, depression, and all that, I decided to change. So that's how I moved to Toronto without speaking English, without knowing anybody. So I ended up, the courage is right there. So nothing is really scary for me anymore. So that was one of the scariest things,
Yeah,
uh,
I will talk about that later, honestly, because
right.
you are from the French-speaking part of West Africa, and look at you. I know you came in speaking French, but you speak
Right.
English very, very well now. But before we
Thank
get to
you.
that, you talked
Okay.
about when you were in the shelter, you had a lot of dreams, and you never thought they were going
Yes,
to come true. What are those dreams
that's right.
that you had? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
When I was, as I was saying, when I was very young, not even in my 20s,
Mm-hmm.
I was already a feminist, and I always wanted to I have a woman's cause in my heart, because I saw a lot of women, like all the challenges that they were going through in my country, and I said I will never accept to go through what they are going through. And guess what? I went through the same thing, because that's the
Wow.
society that we are built in, and you have to be that woman for people to accept you, not to judge you, tell you that you are white, tell you that you became white, or you so you had to. And when I came to Canada, I started like really thinking of going back to my country without even yet being stable myself. And one of my mentor told me, you should start here doing something for the women here in Canada. And I thought that Canada would be more difficult. I said, this is a country that I don't know, and the culture and everything else. I don't speak the language very well. I never thought that I would speak very well English today. So anyway, I just had my own excuses not to go to fight for my for what I stand for.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in that shelter, that's where I really, really started like promising some women. And I remember two of them actually from Peru and Mexico. Um, they were very close to me, and we were talking, and they said, I see we can't find a job. And I said, how come? Like, even in the cleaning industry, they said no, because we don't speak the language very well, people don't hire us. I said, that's not fair, because cleaning doesn't need a language, right? So that's how I promised them that one day I will create my own cleaning company and I will hire them. So
Wow.
that's where, yes, I promised while I was living in that shelter. So imagine the pressure that I was having. I said, oh my God, I promised. But anyway, I knew that I would come through. And I worked in the nonprofit over 5 years before funding my own company and quit my job. And now, yeah, Tap Cleaning is a company that is hiring today immigrant women and creating jobs for other people.
Okay, so let me try to make sense of this. You're
Okay.
coming as an immigrant. I mean,
Yeah.
with no money.
Nope.
Uh, of course. What was your status when you came in?
I was a refugee when I
Okay,
came.
okay. So
Yeah.
you came in as a refugee. That's
Yeah.
the story for another day. How you even managed to come, all the things you went through.
Yeah.
It's like you escaped. You escaped whatever you were running from, and
Yeah.
you came. But you know what? No, I don't want to leave it for another day because some people don't understand. We're trying to paint a picture here. So, what are you a refugee from? What were you running from?
Listen, that was a really family situation. A refugee, like, because sometimes there are some things that you want to do and your family is not okay with that. So, before fighting and there, I was lucky enough to be able to come here.
Okay, so when you now came in,
Mhm.
um, refugees go through a lot. And
Yeah.
when you come in as a refugee, that's not when you want to start thinking about a lot of positive things. You just want to just survive, okay? You're
Yeah.
trying to just survive. That's all you do. And then
Yeah.
you end up, of course, you're not working because you didn't have a status to work, okay? So you
No.
just depended. And thank God for the government of Canada that has a
Yeah.
system that can sustain you, but it, like, you just merely get by. So
Yeah. And I was pregnant 6 months,
oh,
right?
oh, okay. Look at that.
Yeah.
So, with all that, your health situation and everything, you come down to Toronto.
Mhm.
For those who don't know, because people are watching us from all over the world,
Mhm.
Toronto is like Toronto is a mini world.
I know.
Toronto is as big as it gets.
I
If
know.
you when you're in Toronto, it's like New York and London and
Yeah.
Frankfurt mixed together. That's how big Toronto is, and everything is fast paced, and nobody has time for you. Nobody just has time for you, and you
No.
come into Toronto, you end up in a shelter. Still not the time that people think about business. First, you're thinking about getting a job, but
Right.
you end up promising people that you're going to open a company as a refugee, and you're promising your fellow women who are in the women's shelter, who are just
I know.
managing to survive, you're promising them you're going to open a company. You're not even saying I'm going to get a job for you, but I will own the company. So it's amazing. People may not understand it, but that is
Yeah.
boldness, because
It is.
to
It
to
is.
own your own company here, I mean, you're even scared working for people, and you end up having that big dream. But
Yeah.
not just that you had the dream, to now hear that you actually opened a company and you
Yeah.
became an employer of labor. That is something that is very outstanding. That is the kind of thing you want to bring out, because that is the Canadian dream for people who are coming to Canada. And that's a message. Why I paused to bring this out is because in our community, you find a lot of times where we are trying to encourage people and they are thinking, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. Me,
I know.
me, like me,
Yeah.
own a business. Please just get out
Right.
of here. So it's
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
people know that even when you didn't have the money, you didn't have all of that, you had the dream and you had the boldness and the courage to go after your dream. And today you are an employer of labor.
Mm.
So let's continue. So you now established the business and you also had a non-for-profit, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a
Yeah.
business and you have a
Yeah.
non-for-profit.
That's right. You know why? Because a lot of people, as I was telling you before, I always have the heart to help other people, and that was always in my heart. And when I founded, I created my company, and remember, because I promised to those women to
Mm-hmm.
hire them. So when I founded, I wanted to help. Every time I heard immigrant elderlies talking, oh, I don't want to get old here because I don't have anybody to help out, even like the cleaning. And we know, all of us, we know, like when you go to some elderly places, it's very very actually dirty.
Yes,
And
sure.
how in 2018, how I really started that. I already had wanted to start, but it wasn't in 2018. For me, I wasn't ready. But when a lady who had from Haiti and had a post-terminal cancer, and she was living in a very very dirty house, and she was referred by someone in the community, and I said, okay, I will definitely give her every week 3 hours cleaning for free. And guess what? I spoke to the lady, promised her that we would come. Like I spoke to her on a Wednesday. I will never forget that.
Yeah.
And I said, if you want tomorrow, we can come. She said, no, I have all this week. I have a doctor's appointment. I said, okay, what about Monday? She said, okay, that would work. And we came on Monday with one of my staff all the way in Brampton. And guess what? They told us the lady passed away on Sunday.
Oh my God.
Yes, and that was until today when I talk about it, it's like it become very emotional because I said if we were there before, she would die in a decent place. And that day I came back to my office and I took money out of my own pocket. I said to my staff, listen, call Conseil de la Coopération de l'Ontario. They need to help us start this social enterprise to help the elderly here. And that's how we started the social enterprise to help the elderly and single mothers. Because every time I speak to an event, a lot of women, they are single mother, they said, how did you do it? We want to start something, but we can't because the kids, we don't have anybody to help us. So that's why tap community care, I started tap community care.
Okay. So, wow. It's amazing what people like you are able to just think about and then you end up doing it.
Yeah.
Right now, you are the Liberal Party. You are a nominee, a Liberal Party nominee
Yeah.
for Ontario. Um,
Yeah.
uh, it's amazing. How did
Thank you.
you?
I
Okay,
know.
okay. So you have dreams. Okay, we're talking
Yes.
about your dreams. We are talking about your courage, but you're
Yeah.
not even trying to be a counselor. You're trying to be a municipal member of parliament
Yeah.
in the same party just for people who for those of you who don't know, the Liberal Party is the same party as the Prime Minister of Canada, and
Yeah.
that is where you now want to run in the election. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, how did that come about? How you're not even afraid?
Uh, you know what? I was afraid until when I was putting together my papers.
Yes.
I almost didn't put my nomination papers in because I was very scared.
Yeah.
because I said I will never be taken, and probably they will find something that that will never take it. A lot of things. But I have very, very strong people and a team, and people just had faith in me, and they pushed me. Actually, they said, go ahead, Assiatou. Everybody that I spoke to, they said, yes, you can do it, go ahead. This is your journey. And it assured me when I had a webinar with Kathleen Wynne, Mitzi Hunter, and some other MPPs. And they said, Kathleen Wynne said, if you're thinking of running for office, it doesn't mean that you need the big diploma, or you need to have all these whatever you think, big doctors or whatever, or being a lawyer. But it's because you have your community in your heart. And that's exactly why I wanted to run. So to come back to your question, why I really thought of running, it's again when I was living in that shelter. I worked for Elections Ontario as a DRO. So when I was at that election, and I didn't see a lot of black candidates, and not even women. So it really surprised me. I said, wow, why? And when I went back that day in the shelter, I did my research, how to run for office in Ontario. And as you said, yes, I never thought about being a city councillor or whatsoever. I always thought being like MPP right away.
Why? Why?
Listen, that's where I mean, I could change things like, municipally, being a city councilor and all that in my city. But for me to really propose some bylaws or whatsoever to change things, it has to be there, either at Ottawa, at the Parliament, or Queen's Park. So that's why I said, no, that's where I need to be, because my community will need that, and a voice, having a voice, being the voice of those who doesn't have one. As you said, a lot of immigrant people, and especially women, are scared of a lot of things. And today the system is not there for them yet. And a lot of people don't know that, because I've seen a lot of women where they have problems with their husbands, and the woman is always out there. And I know a woman, she was with a lawyer, and she ended up living in a shelter, leaving the big house for the guy, and left her kids, and she ended up living in a shelter. And another woman, she lost her child, and she passed away. And because the husband, a white, a very big, like, rich guy, had a very big people that he knows, he was molesting the girl, and they never trust the woman. Can you imagine? And
Wow.
we know that that happened in my French community. We know that. So she
Wow.
she passed away. She
Wow.
died like few years ago. And all that happening, it just like, we need to make sure that women are well represented. Women are well, they know actually the rights, and the government is there for them when they need, and trust them actually. Even, the guy, when they got even raped, when they go to court, most of the time they lose, right?
You know,
So anyway, that.
yeah, yeah. Assiatou, there couldn't have been a better time to have you running for office than now. And why do I say this? We're living in a time when we are no longer shy, we're no longer afraid, we are no longer apologetic to talk about our situation. This is our
Right.
time. We're actually, I belong with a group, the IDPAD team. That is the International Decade for People of African Descent. United Nations had appointed, or had declared, that from 2004 to 2015, sorry, to 2025 or so. I'm
Mhm.
mixing up my numbers here, but 10 years from when they declared it,
Mhm.
it's supposed to be the International Decade for People of African Descent. And within this period, we've seen a lot of things happen that has made African people rise up and say, you know what, enough is enough. We saw
Yes.
this with the Black Lives
Mm-hmm.
Matters movement, and here in Canada, we've said, okay, you know what, enough with the systemic racism, enough with whatever kind of racism that we see happening in our community. And you are running in a community that has a very, very large black African population. So this is
Yeah.
the best time for someone like you who believes in racial equality, who believes
Mm-hmm.
in women empowerment, who believes in just justice for everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white. Because when we talk about African and black, people think, oh, are we not being racist? No, no, no. What we are saying is that for a long time we've been marginalized, we've been discriminated upon. Not even, and another thing people don't realize, not just the personal discrimination, that would always be there. You can't do anything about people discriminating about you, discriminating against you. But the one that is really painful and people seem to neglect is the systemic racism.
Yes.
It is designed inside the system, and it will only take legislation and people going there to make changes, to become part of the change, to make these
Yeah.
things happen. So it is a very, very good time for you to be running, and I'm impressed with what you are trying to do. So tell me also, I know I've said it all, but why do you think you have a chance of winning in that area? Because I know it is also an area that for a long time has been represented by people who consider themselves powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Listen, I would tell you I believe in God. I believe in in karma. I believe in mindset. So for me, I already put in my mind I'm running and I will win. I'm running to win. And why do I think I will win? Because it's just me. I will win. This is Assiatou. I'm coming from far away, and what I'm fighting for, it's legitimate for my community, for the people of color. And remember, more than 75% of that community are Black. As you said, it's exactly the right time for them to get represented by someone who knows their struggles, who went through what they going through or what they went through. So I will be just like a model to them and say, Asiatu is here and I will be there for them. That's a promise I took when to some women while I did not have any money. I didn't know where to start a business. But I promised and I came through. So I'm the right person for that community, for them to give them hope. And we all know that they uh,
Yeah, okay, we can still see you. You're still okay.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, I believe that I can win.
Okay,
And that
let's get down to some details. Um,
okay.
what are the things that you think you will do differently if you were to become the MPP for Humber River and Black Creek? Humber River, Black Creek. That's all.
Yeah. Things that I will do differently. It's the things that I will be fighting for. Let's just name some. And I will make sure that funding will ensure funding for parents, for young families, for childcare costs, right? And we all know there are a lot of single families there and young families in Humber River Black Creek. That's one of the issue that they have. So to be able for them to focus on and make sure that they have uh, all the support for them to get out, get the right job, or start their own businesses. And that's one thing. And we all know the government has put some fundings out there to fund some schools, African schools, like African descent schools, to help the kids like really learn about the African culture and Black culture. So that's one thing that I will make sure that the young families have enough funding for childcare costs. And another thing that we know, and during this pandemic, we have realized that we have been neglecting our elderly. So I will make sure we have more affordable long-term care beds for our seniors. And I will make sure of that. And I promise when I was doing my door-to-doors, I spoke to a lot of actually Italian elderlies, because there is and that's one thing. I went to one area, all the houses, it's you can go to 10 houses, and then you go one, the 11th one, it's like a black person, or someone, an immigrant person. So I was very surprised. A lot of Italian elderlies there, and even them, you know what they were telling me? Oh, it's time to see new faces. That's what they it's time. No, seriously,
Yeah,
it's time
yeah.
for change. It's time for, if I could record them, I would, but I don't have the right to do that. So they say, oh wow, it's good to see new faces and new time for change. And remember, this is the first time that a black woman is running for that level at Humber River Black Creek. First time. Yeah,
That's
first
the th-
time. And
that
75% of the community is black. So first time a black person is running to become the MPP for that community. So if I don't win, it's God's God's will. So but I have all the thing. I have the great team. We have made what we have to do, and I won't name you here, but I know everybody has put their hands together to make sure that to get people out there and to vote for me.
You see, I think that politics, politics, they say, is local, okay, and
Yeah.
I think your party, the Liberal Party, stands a lot to gain by making sure that you win this nomination, because
Mhm.
to present you now, this is the moment. This is, if they are smart, they will understand that presenting a candidate that looks like you,
Yeah.
things like you, this is the moment for them. And I'm sure the party is wise to think in that direction. So that's why I'm confident that you have a very, very big chance of coming out winner in that nomination.
Thank you.
So I mean, I am very, very confident in you. Now let's talk about the area that you'll be representing.
Mhm.
We know there's a lot of stories that come out of that area about gun violence and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because um, everybody knows about the Jen Finch area, and this
Yeah.
falls under your jurisdiction. I'm also
Mhm.
a member of the Toronto Police Black Community Consultative Committee, so I know some of the issues that we deal with there. What do you, what would you do concerning the issues of policing in that area? We know one of the biggest issues there, and the police is tackling it now, but it's been a major issue, is the issue of carding, where young men are just stopped by police arbitrarily and questioned, and
Yeah.
booked, and some of them end up in jail. And when they go
Yep.
to jail, then they have their records messed up, and they become messed up for life. So, what
Yep.
do you have to say about the issue of policing?
That's a good one, because there's one thing that I know I will do. We will go in that area. We will stop. The police needs to stop coming there. It's like they are scaring people, first of all. Scaring people, because when they are scared, that's where they start freaking out. And the young kids, that's where they start freaking out. It's like they are already pointed by the, like,
Yeah, they are
finger
stereotype
pointed.
already.
Exactly, already. So that's one thing that I know I will fight for, Chidi. That I promise. This is a recording, and I will be there. And the police needs to stop being there. That's one thing. The other thing is we will make sure the youth. We will support the youth. And I know there is a guy, I will just name Nathan Bayer. That's a young person that I really, really appreciate, doing a lot of things, good things in the community. And will support young people like himself to make sure that we are inspiring other young people to do something and take them back to school. I went to the Black Creek Community Health Center. I saw some young people, 13 years old, already dropped school, like same age as my son. That's not here in Canada. It's like it's so sad, you won't even believe. But I don't blame that boy. I blame the society that he is living in. I blame the police that is being there and just putting them in a box, right? So that's one thing I will be fighting, and I will be in that community day and night with whoever I have to be there, and the police needs to stop and support, make sure that we're supporting our young generation, the youth and women. We have to make sure we empower them, because whoever, that's why I told you when I started my business, I said, women, I hire women. Why? Because when they are financially independent, they will they will stop going to abusive relationship.
Let me tell you something, and you just brought the African in you out when you say that, because we have an African proverb that says, when you train a man, you
Yeah,
train. How do you say it? When you train a man, you train a person or so. But when you train a woman,
yeah,
you train a whole community. When you empower a woman, you
yeah.
empower the whole village.
Of
So
course.
exactly, because a man behaves a certain way, but a woman is the one who takes care of the whole family, the children. So it is important that you
Yeah.
empower the woman. So what you said makes a lot of sense, and that's why they should have an African in your position.
No, that's that's true. Margaret Chatter. That's one of the quote that I really love. If you wanna things to what? How did she say that? A man, if you want things to get to say things, give it to a man. If you want things to get done, give
Give
it
it
to
to.
a woman.
I know,
Right?
I know. Man, I know I can make a lot of lists and big plans with my wife, and I have all these colorful, but she's waiting.
Yeah.
When we're done, when it's time
Yeah.
to implement, I don't know how to
Right.
get it done. But
Exactly.
if she's the one managing it, she'll be able to break it down to the ones that, how, no, we think about the thing, but we don't think
Yeah.
about how to get it done. We just come out with the
Absolutely.
big ideas. But women
Exactly.
are already thinking about how women think in details. And
Yes.
whenever women take a leadership position, I mean, look at Africa. You're from Guinea, that is close to Liberia. Look at what happened when a woman took over the leadership of Liberia, and now
No.
a man came back, and look at what is going on.
Messed up everything
You
that
know,
she has built.
and
She,
look at women. Look at America. Look at the vice president of America that is
yeah,
coming in. So women are, are forced to be reckoned with. The problem is usually to be
yeah,
able to get a woman who is
yeah,
courageous enough to step
right.
forward. That has always been the problem. So
Yes,
whenever we
yes.
see the because women, and I'm not saying this to to put women down, but we know
No,
a lot of women suffer from this. Is it suffer? You know, in Canada, you have to be politically correct with everything you
yeah,
say.
yeah,
So women have a self-esteem problem. They think, no, I can't do it. I'm a woman. I'm the weaker sex. No, I can't. They won't. And so that's why when all we look for really is the one who can overcome all of those things. I said, no, it's not true. I can
yeah,
do it too. I have done this before. I have done this before, and so I can do it. And in your case, you have suffered whatever it is that a lot of women have suffered. Not just that you're not telling us the story. You are the story. Whatever you suffered, and you
yeah,
came over here as a refugee, and you went through the system. You are not just telling a story. You are the story. You went through the system. You overcame the system, because you have overcome a lot of things. We have a record of your history. You've been tested, and we've seen
Yeah.
you succeed, and that's why we know that we need the wealth of your experience to be brought to bear in the
Yeah.
politics of your neighborhood. So I'm really impressed with what you're doing, and I want to encourage you. Now,
Thank
when is the nomination coming up, and what would you want members who are card-carrying members of the Liberal Party who are within your riding? What do you want them to do?
Oh, listen, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. And for those who are listening, my vision of entrepreneurship is to inspire a lot of people, and especially women. As you said, I agree with you. I tell that to people all the time. I said, listen, especially, I speak for myself and for the women where I'm coming from. African women and Black people, we have low self-esteem, we have confidence issues because the way we have been raised, right? They always say, no, you are a woman. As you said, you are a woman, you're supposed to behave like this, you're supposed to be doing this, not doing that. So you already set to do certain things, but not everything. So today I'm very happy to see like people, women in construction, to see women in politics more, to see women in the leadership position. That's what the world need to be able to change things. And you see how we are going down. Like, we need to put women, more women in the leadership position to be able to bring back the world in a stable in a stable how to call it, stable level. So what I will ask today, my ask would be, please get involved. Even though today it's already too late, no one can get involved to sign, to be, they can still be a member to vote for me, but they won't be able to vote on February 13th for the nomination. But they, please, if they can go on my website to sign to become a member. It's free. And that when I will become the candidate, they will be able to vote in the next elections.
What's your
Because
website?
my website is www.asiatoudiallo.ca.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's where they can go, and they can even see a lot of all the things that we've talked about. You, I'm sure
exactly.
you have
Yeah,
all of them stated there.
right,
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to, because sometimes when people just tell us a story in our
right.
program, we like to be original, want to authenticate what they are saying. So I want you to speak your language, the original language of where you are originally from. I want you to greet your people in that language.
Oh, okay. I'm Fula. So, on jarama. Misal minion. Hande miɗo tori on duwa miɗo tori on duwa. Ko min Asiatou Diallo ɓiɗɗo mon on, miɗo tori on duwa. On jarama.
Thank you so much. You just sounded like
Thank
you were
you.
singing. Sounded like a song.
I know. Wow, that's a good one. I love it. But
Yeah. Yes, yes, it
I
sounds
wasn't
like
expecting that.
I know, but that's we put people on the spot because if you were not original, then
That's
everything
right.
you have said, and I don't coach people. I want you to be original. That's why I didn't
Right.
send you any questions. I didn't
Okay.
prep you up.
Yeah.
I just because I want if you're not original and people know me, I don't do like go and organize things. No, no, I don't do that.
I agree.
When they actually introduced me to you, I the reason I opted to even work in whatever way I can to help, and
Mhm.
Jim knows me very well. When I investigated and I saw, oh, this person looks and sounds original. Because if you
Thank
were
you.
not original, if you were just a wannabe or somebody who just wants to be in politics for a bit, no, 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 I wouldn't even give you that chance. I don't do that because that's not what we stand for. So you are really original, and that's why I recommend you to people, and that's why I know that you have a lot of big future ahead of you, and we'll be there as a
Thank
community, as the black community in Ontario, as the African community here, will stand solidly behind you to
Thank
see
you.
you through. And we'll,
Thank
we'll
you.
bring you back to tell us about the victories that you accomplish as you go along.
That's right. And I would like to take this moment actually because that you said it, I wasn't sure if I
No,
could
no,
speak
it's
about it,
okay. Yeah.
but I want to take this moment to thank you again. And Shidi, you have made calls. You are one of them who made calls like day and night. And trust me, I am forever grateful.
No
And as
problem.
I said, karma is whatever goes around will come around. So
Yes,
trust
yes,
me, we will make this and we will go through and we will work together to make things happen, to
yes,
change things.
yes.
And thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No
I
problem,
appreciate it
Assiatou.
very much.
No problem. Thank you for coming on the program. I know you have a very busy schedule, but thank you for making it to our program, and I wish you the best in what you're doing. Okay.
Thank you so much. And I invite everyone here, and Shidi, including yourself. Tonight, I will be doing my presentation to the Ontario Liberal Party and the community.
Good.
And please join in. We will send the link, the Zoom link to you,
Good. 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 Good.
where you
Yes.
can join
Yes.
in.
Yes. Send it, and we'll send it to our people too. We'll make sure
Perfect.
they're there. Yeah.
Okay,
All
will
right,
do.
Assiatou.
Okay, thank you so much.
Take care. Bye. Bye
Take care.
now.
You too. Bye
Okay.
now.
All right.
Bye. Bye.
So, guys, that was Asia 2. The reason I brought her to our program is to be an inspiration to a lot of people, because people, this is what we keep trying to encourage you to do. We keep telling people that you cannot just sit down and say, oh, because I'm black, because I'm African, because I don't have what it takes, I cannot come and run. No, 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 no. You are lucky to be part of a system that is designed to accommodate everybody. Did you hear her? It's not your educational qualification, it's not your financial status, it is just that you have the spirit to serve. You are qualified. And Asia 2 has demonstrated that she is qualified to do this job. And that's why I brought her to our program today as an inspiration. And this is where we end the program today. On behalf of our crew here in Toronto, I want to thank you for listening. And I want to tell you to please stay safe and God bless. Bye bye.